Greetings, fellow slinging agents in the wild. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, and welcome back as Roll the Hard 20 presents another season of our Delta Green material, Gaslight, Disavowed. Once again, we've gone back to our homebrew source material as our legacy players wanted a chance to run through a scenario they've heard about but had not experienced. So, I ran Samwise and Tone Dog through Gaslight, and just like Deep Waters before, this season of Disavowed is, without a doubt, the definitive version of my vision of Gaslight. Real quick, I only have one shout out, and that goes to James Wachter, who wrote in on the final episode of Deep Waters Disavowed saying, "I love saving these up for a night off and watching a few in a row. You guys are always surprising me." Well, James, I hope we're still doing right by you, as well as all you fellow slinging agents in the wild. So, let's warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 presents our homebrew Delta Green scenario, Gaslight, Disavowed, Episode 1. Enjoy.
That's why I asked yesterday. I'm like, hey, group, do you want me to do this or do you want me to check the door? And I think it was Triff or your tone when you're like, yeah, you should check this out. I'm like, okay, great. Cause it's like, we're a party. We should be kind of going like, what do we want to do instead of everyone going off in their own directions and leaping over water pits and causing issues.
Yeah. Ironically, I think that has a lot to do with, when you guys are playing Delta Green, playing what we're going to play today, it's like you guys interact really well in tandem with one another. And that's what Tony and I were talking about when you jumped on is, but as a large group, I think they're still thinking they're two agents and you're two agents, but you guys interact really well with one another. So, and as opposed to saying, well, I'm going to do this, and you just do it and leave the other three just sitting by the side, as opposed to having everybody kind of say, yeah, let's do this as a party. Let's investigate the grate while you investigate the sarcophagus right next to it. And I'll maintain a posted position and watch the double doors, and I'll be watching the stairs that are coming down to make sure nothing comes down. So you got like two guys standing overwatch, while one guy's messing with the grate and the other guy's checking the seam on the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
That's the way you guys would want to ideally be.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything we should know before we get going on this thing, Ryder?
No, in fact, I'm just going to lead us right into it.
Right on.
And let me give us a read in, and then we will make the announcement of what it is. Greetings, fellow slinging agents of the wild. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, and with me, my hard slingers of yore.
Konnichiwa.
We are playing Gaslight, Disavowed. This is the definitive version of our homebrew scenario, where we allow the other two agents that didn't have an opportunity to run through this scenario a chance to actually go through it. Now, I myself have rewritten major portions of this AP, so you may notice some differences between when it was run the first time and the way it's run today. But let me assure you, this will be the definitive version. My hard slingers, tell me who we're playing today.
Well, I will allow age to go before beauty. So, Mr. Cosmo, who are we playing today?
So, yeah, playing Polly Odessa, and some interesting things about that.
Yeah, give me a little fanfare here before I introduce myself. Introduce me, Atone.
I can do that. And now hailing from the Far East, a man of mysterious background, someone who has a spotted past but is yet trying to redeem himself through the annals and trials and tribulations that Delta Green possesses, doing something greater for the good of all society than he could do on his own. Each.
Wow, that sounded like you were introducing one of your clients to the judge. That was very nice. Yes, I am playing Ichimuru Kimura, who is a ex-Yakuza and who is looking to, at one point, redeem himself, but also to redeem his whole checkered past with his clan and bring it back up. Currently, he and Agent Adesso have gone on many adventures, and it appears our handler has summoned us for yet one more. So hope you all enjoy that who are listening to this in YouTube listening land. We're going to bring it.
You're damn right. Time, 4:00 a.m., approximately 3 weeks after the incident in D.C. Location, a recently closed funeral parlor in Savannah, Georgia. With the morning sun having yet to rise on the East Coast, it's possible that neither of you have had any time to sleep. You find yourselves in a fenced-in parking lot where you see a single brown sedan parked just outside the illumination of a lone overhead light in the parking lot. As you get out of your vehicle and approach the building, you notice that all the windows have been boarded up, yet the front door is slightly offset from its jamb, indicating it's open. As you enter, the dampness of mildew floats on the air as you begin to progress deeper into the building. Other than the sign out front, you probably couldn't guess this was once a mortuary. Anything of value has long since been removed, leaving detritus and the body waste from all the homeless that use the structure as refuge. Making your way deeper into the building, you pass through a doorway and enter a room with yellowed tile on the floor and walls, possibly the last stop for a body before being deposited in a coffin. And standing in the back of the room, holding a disposable paper cup giving off steam from a hot beverage, stands a man. Easily recognized by the two of you, the man with short-cropped gray hair and a stout physique appears in his mid-50s, and his ice blue eyes track each of you as you enter the room. Heisenberg takes a long pull from the hot beverage and clears his throat. Welcome, agents. Please have a lean.
Okay, I will walk in and do as he says.
Have either of you heard the phrase, commit a sin twice, and to you it will not seem a sin?
I've lived that life.
I want to tell you a story about a man, Randall Schaefer, a friendly of the agency who eventually became one of our agents. In the past, he had been instrumental on a few cases. That thing that went down in the subway in New York back in '08, the Montana ranchers' bovine debacle back in 2011, and most recently, that cult in Louisiana's bayou when what the media described as a gator had been picking off the locals. After his final opera, he began to have a change of heart and decided to retire from the agency and finish out his days from somewhere he once hailed, New Orleans. From what we've gathered, it would seem that old Randall, due to a concern for his life expectancy post-retirement, had implemented a certain contingency to ensure he didn't become the next mission. Doing so, he absconded with several very sensitive artifacts, as well as some dangerous rituals. From what we know of the items he's taken, they are as follows. Heisenberg reaches into a manila folder that he has against the wall behind him and pulls out this list. A legend for deciphering certain elements of hypergeometry, what a layman would call a form of magic. A 5-inch square lead box containing a metallic medallion with a hand-etched glyph on its face. A focal pendulum with a chalk rod. And it's this particular item that we believe he's using to predict multiple futures and stay ahead of the teams that are trying to apprehend him. But contrary to conventional thought, it's not the focal pendulum that's predicting the future, but rather the chalk that's inside of it, due to the material it's been made from. Unfortunately, it's a bit ambiguous how much of this chalk is left, so we don't know how much more he can use of it. He's also managed to take a few ancient rituals that may or may not be genuine. I'm still in the dark as far as that's concerned. The powers that be, after a little deliberation, and in response to what Schaefer had done, decided he might become a risk. So 5 weeks ago, a cleanup team was sent to officially retire him. Not only did they fail, but they were wiped out. We believe he used one of the stolen items on the team that was sent to retire him. And so I guess the Brain Trust was correct in their thinking. Now, we've kept what's been done to the team out of the news and hope that if we left him alone long enough, that he'd let his guard down and we'd get another crack at him. Well, it appears that he didn't lay low long, because shortly after the team had been taken out, reports started coming across the desk of one of our friendlies in the New Orleans Police Department in regards to some unusual deaths occurring throughout the local districts in New Orleans. And it wasn't until a fourth report that she made the connection between all the deaths and reached out. The reports involved several people in New Orleans, all unrelated and who have never met each other before, and who, over the course of the past 4 weeks, had their futures scried by an African-American male with a thick accent going by the name Doc Rondal. It's reported by those close to those deceased that Doc Rondal had foretold of the tragic demise of each victim mere hours before they each met their untimely and very violent deaths. Now, obviously, the relatives of those victims believed this Doc Rondal to be in some way responsible for the incidents and reported what they knew to the police. Our friendly intercepted that information, and that's why we're here today. I'm about to show you something, gentlemen, but do you have any questions so far?
I have a few. This chalk that you say is what you believe is the main item, is this something we're to acquire and bring back, or to destroy and get rid of?
It's one of the items you are to procure and either return it or destroy it outright.
And does that go for Schaefer as well?
When I show you this next video and I explain something else about Schaefer, I'm going to leave that up to you two gentlemen, whether you bring him in or make an in-the-field decision as to retiring him.
Very well.
The stuff that he has, did he acquire it over a course of missions, or did he specifically and purposefully take it from storage headquarters, wherever we keep this stuff?
He purposely took it from the agency. This isn't stuff that he's acquired. In fact, although I haven't seen it personally, it would appear that the medallion that was in that lead box, the glyph that's on the face of that, matches the counterfeiting plates you recovered from DC.
Wonderful.
You can see why we're very aggressively trying to seek out Randall. I want you to watch this. He pulls out a cell phone. He cues up a video on it. The video begins to play. It's dusk along one of the many storefronts in New Orleans, and you can see that the focus of the frame is on a woman showing off her new beads. A man taking the cell phone video is complimenting her and telling her how she can work off the payment for those beads back in the room. In the background, you can see several people milling about the street and the sidewalk. The video gets suddenly grainy with horizontal lines bisecting the screen, and for the briefest of moments, the video clears and something pops into frame right next to a man standing with his wife in the background. The man seems to burst into a cloud of red spray before the video goes grainy and wavy again. When it clears a half a moment later, the woman in the background is standing alone and covered in crimson. And the video clearly shows the bottom of a man's torso and legs still standing before pandemonium breaks loose. Screams begin to emanate from multiple directions as the video stops. Heisenberg continues and says, "We know he's somewhere in one of New Orleans' many districts, and we believe he may be leaving in the next 2 days. But a stroke of luck may be on our side. A storm is going to hit the Big Easy in 14 hours. That should keep the street traffic light and the pedestrians indoors. That might be the most optimal window to take out Schaefer. Once you've located where he's holed up, I want you to call this man on this phone." And he hands you the phone he just showed you the video on. "Besides my number, this man's number is the only other one inside it. His name's James Glacier. He's a friendly who works at the power plant, and he owes me a favor. Once he's called, he'll reboot the system for whichever district you request. The blackout will last for about an hour, which might provide the opportunity to get Schaefer, but he'll only do it once. So be very sure of yourselves when you make that call. Yes, Paulie."
Do you have Schaefer's file that we could look at? I'm trying to discern his motivations for what he's doing and why.
"Unfortunately, we don't, and there's a reason for that. I just have to find it." "Unfortunately, we don't. The reason why is because when he left the agency, he took not only his file, but several of the agents' files as well. The personal documents, including mine and including both of yours, which is why you're both here today. And within these personnel files are not just information about us, but about our loved ones as well. He's issued an ultimatum that if we continue to try to apprehend him, he will release those files to who we don't know. And that's something we can't allow. Now, we've gone through a lot of effort to protect both of your families, and I'm sure you both want to keep it that way. And I know I certainly do as well. So, here's your mission parameters. Number 1, find a way to handle Randall Schaefer in such a way that it will never come back to the agency, ever. 2, recoup as many of the items Schaefer has absconded with so they can be returned to the curator for inventory. Number 3, destroy all the bodies of the victims to prevent any further medical testing on them, and either collect or destroy any files tracing back to them."
And what of this Doc Rondal? How does he fit into all this?
"I'm sorry, Each, I thought it would have been made clear. It's no doubt that Doc Rondal is Randall Schaefer."
I was just making sure. I wanted to clear that up.
"Yes, if it's not, then it's one hell of a coincidence that the place where this man is hiding out, somebody else is using a similar name and annihilating people all through New Orleans."
I was just making sure because clearing one person, removing them is one thing. If there's yet another person that's potentially out there that knows about this. So I just wanted to make double sure that Randall and Rondell are the same person.
Rondal. Some kind of, I don't know, voodoo backwoods name or something. I don't know how he came up with this amalgamation of a name, but you'll be flying into New Orleans Airport, which will put you about 11 miles outside of the city, and you'll be going in under the guise of FBI agents. Remember, your credentials are bogus, so try not to get up in people's business.
I'll do my best.
Just to be clear, they're bogus only to the extent that there's nothing backing them, but they're facially 100% genuine, authentic FBI credentials.
That's correct, Adesso. When you land, you're going to want to get in touch with the NOPD and let them know you're on the scene so it doesn't look like you're pissing on their turf, especially when you show up asking questions. Lieutenant Davenport is heading the task force that's working the case. As a side note, you should be aware that if Schaefer uses any of the rituals he's taken, which it's quite possible he already has, they have the propensity to fracture his psyche, and those effects are cumulative, meaning they stack.
So we've heard about some of the items: a medallion, a legend, a pendulum. What are the rituals potentially that this Randall Schaefer took? What should we be looking out for? Apparently one can explode a person's torso into a fine purple mist and leave the pants nice and starched so they stay standing.
Well, I believe that one of the rituals might have to do, and this is my own speculation because those above me are keeping me in the dark as far as explaining what these rituals actually do. This may come as a shock to both of you agents, but we're all expendable, as easily determined by the last team that was just sent out to try to apprehend Schaefer. But I would think that one of the rituals probably has something to do with exploding bodies, like you said. Another one has to do with using that focal pendulum. Because even though we believe the chalk is what's helping him scry the future, without casting the ritual to use it, you might as well be writing your name on the sidewalk with it.
And this team that was taken out, I believe we cleaned up for N team at one time. Is this another team that we might know, or?
No. This team is a highly sophisticated operations team. They're known as ECTs, Elite Commando Teams. And for those boys to be taken out, let me just say this. I don't think Schaefer is out there doing this hand to hand. This guy was nothing more than an analyst. He'd categorize things. He would go out into the field, but nothing more than in a support capacity. Whatever he's using these rituals for, that's what's giving him the edge, not just to stay ahead of the people trying to take him out, but to actually take out those that manage to get up close to him.
Was there any indication that he was ready to crack? Or is he just simply to retire and then decide to steal a bunch of things and then go on a killing rampage? What preceded this? This seems so random.
From what I could gather, there was one final mission, besides the Gator incident, that I have not been read in on. And it was right after that he absconded with all the materials. So, at some point, something broke him.
And who are the victims? Who was this person in the cell phone that exploded into a spray of crimson thunder?
Just some man walking with his wife.
And the other victims?
From my understanding and what I've explained, all these individuals had gone to him to have their futures read. These are 4 victims in 4 weeks.
So all the victims went and consulted with him about their futures?
He's just like some street palm reader. He's not running a show. He's not running a store. He's just somebody that was out on the street, from what the spouses and relatives of these victims said.
But all the people who died all had contact with Randall before they died.
That's correct. And they all died within about an hour to an hour and a half after meeting with him.
Did they all die the same way?
Yes.
As the man on the cell phone?
Their head and upper shoulders were, for lack of a better term, and from what I could understand from the ME's report, are missing.
Okay.
All right, so we need to talk to... Our plan should be when we arrive in New Orleans, we meet with the lieutenant, and then we get in contact with the coroner to find out what all these... We want to read the files and find out what all these victims had in common. Other than meeting with Randall, there must have been something that they had in common with each other that would cause this to happen.
They all went to see him. That's the one factor. I think that my thought is this guy's just going crazy after doing all these things, or maybe he's running some silly numbers thing like they're 2s and 7s like our previous Eugene the Wise person. Who knows? But
I don't know.
Heisenberg, where is the last location we know of Randall Schaefer? And how long ago was that?
We know he's somewhere in one of the districts of New Orleans. I'm unable to ascertain where the victims were found. I know it was somewhere in the Gaslight sector of the French Quarter, but I couldn't tell you exactly where each body was located or the order in which they were found.
Easy enough to find out when we talk to our contact or when we go to talk with detective?
Lieutenant.
No, okay. I know how these men are very concerned with detective versus officer and all that.
Yeah. Paulie, are you good?
I'm good. Just trying to figure out what these... Well, I'm anxious to figure out what connects the victims, and I don't think it's as random. I think there's a purpose here. I think Randall may have seen something using that chalk, and that may have caused him to kill these 4 individuals with specificity. It doesn't seem to be random, and I don't think the connection... I don't think when he found these people on the streets, that was an accident. It's just... Sounds like this is deliberate and purposeful. We just got to find out why. What did he see and what does he know?
Well, if you got to know we're coming.
If you got to close him down, don't waste any time. Remember, he's got our sensitive material. We can't let that get out.
Yeah, he's got our files with our family's information on it in Adesso's mind. That's a death sentence for you. You don't get to keep that information.
He'll be alive long enough till we find out where that is.
All right, gentlemen. Good hunting.
Okay, well, I guess, Adesso, I'm speaking out of game here. I guess we just have to play that how do we get through the airport thing again, and
yeah,
we're on our way.
Yeah, we just use our IDs. Those will be good enough to get us through
Heisenberg's
TSA.
still there, right?
Yeah, he's still in the room. I'm assuming that you guys left. I don't know if you guys have
Before
left.
we leave.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, Adesso, let's head to the airport. And as we're walking, I remember. And by the way, Heisenberg, I'm asking for my friend Adesso here. Would you happen to know if there was, say, a cache of items that may help us succeed in our mission? Somewhere where we might be able to have access to it?
I'm doing some research into that, and I'll get back to you if that pans out. I'm fairly certain that you aren't the only teams to have operated in New Orleans in the past, so there should be something local. I'll get back to you on that.
Much appreciated. And we'll update you as soon as we know more information, or at least that we landed safely.
He bids you farewell, and you guys make your way to the airport, get through security, no problem with your IDs.
Just to rectify, Odessa would have his Delta Elite 10mm pistol on him at this point, just so we're all clear before we get in any fracas or fun, and that's what the ID would be to get through security, saying, yeah, I'm an FBI agent, and this is my weapon of choice.
Are you wearing your Hellfire armor?
No.
The shotgun?
With the claw still stuck in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Since
With
we're
a leg hanging out.
since we're all doing our showing our goods, each has his jack blade, and for first-time listeners, basically it's a magnet sort of operated blade that when the button is pressed, a blade will shoot out, sort of like a collapsible baton, but with a sword, and he will have his Glock.
So it's about 2 p.m. when you arrive in New Orleans. As you disembark the plane, you feel the humidity as you make your way through the jet bridge leading towards the terminal. The AC begins to buffet your faces as you approach the airport proper. And you see people mill about the exit as they fumble for their personal effects. And as you try to navigate around them, you see a member of law enforcement looking at the face of each individual who passes him. When he sees the two of you exit the tunnel, his eyebrows raise, and with an uncomfortable smile, he approaches the two of you.
He says, Lieutenant Davenport, I presume.
Afternoon, agents. I'm Officer Bennings. I'm welcoming you here to New Orleans proper. Lieutenant actually asked me to come and get the two of you, and I hate to see you both hit the ground running, but there's been a development in the case that brought you all here, and my orders are to receive you all and bring you to the latest crime scene.
Very well. We'll follow you. I'm detecting that accent. Is that not native to New Orleans? It sounds very different than the traditional accent.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not always from around here. It has something to do with the handler's lack of scope in these here parts.
I do declare it sounds a little bit like Foghorn Leghorn. I'm just playing.
Well, shit, don't worry about him.
Great. Nice to meet you, Officer Bennings. I am Agent Okami. This is Agent Odesso, and we're here to help. Thank you for showing us, or thank you for taking us, and let's get going.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Out of game for a second. Did they call for us to help them, or are we interjecting ourselves into their investigation?
The only thing you know right now is that a friendly from the New Orleans PD contacted Heisenberg and told him what was up, and he made the effort to send you there. So,
we're probably interjecting into their investigation.
Most likely. So you're going to have to deal with that when he asks why you're here or what's going on.
So I always play on the side of thank you for allowing us into your home. That's what I've always done. So that's what I'm doing here as well. Okay. It's like, how can we help you? Thank you.
It's actually the other way around. I'm expecting some hostility and resistance that we're coming in and we're taking their investigation from them. We're going to take credit for their work is what the perception will be.
We'll let them
feds have come in for whatever reason, and now you're taking our stuff. You're going to commandeer our resources and blah, blah, blah. We're not happy that you're here. We didn't ask for you. That's the mindset is what I expect us to be encountering.
Well, I'll do my best to pass out the coffees and smooth everything over.
So he starts ushering you through the airport to a cruiser that's waiting curbside. As he unlocks the doors, he's talking over the hood of the car as he's getting in. He's like, it appears it happened about 40 minutes ago. I'm not at liberty to say much, but Lieutenant Davenport asked me to collect you and bring you to him. We'll be heading into the Gaslight sector of the French Quarter District.
Officer Bennings, what happened 40 minutes ago?
I'm sorry, agents. I'm just a little bit flustered, but there's been another death.
Jeez. Similar to the other ones?
The lieutenant has asked me not to say anything. And I've already got a few marks against me, so I'm just going to adhere to what he says.
I understand.
We appreciate it. I know we're coming in here and tromping all over your territory, but we really appreciate it. And I wish I was at leave to give you more information as to why we're involved. But yeah, it sounds like you guys have done a great job. I'm really thankful for it. And the fact that it's still happening really lends urgency to why we're here.
Well, I, for one, am glad to have your expertise here. I feel much more safer. I mean, my whole family lives here, so I can't protect them all the time. And knowing that you might help us pin down whatever's going on here, that means the world to me and my family. Thank you. God bless you.
You are very welcome.
As the cruiser makes its way through the city, the ride takes about 30 minutes or so, until finally Officer Bennings turns down Burgundy Street and stops. You see the street is just plugged with onlookers, rimming a yellow and black crime ribbon. He double blasts the siren and they clear out of the way. He brings the cruiser to within 20 feet of the yellow and black crime ribbon and gestures towards a man in his late 20s, possibly early 30s, in tan slacks and a white button-up with the sleeves rolled up. He's talking with another man who appears to be in a deep state of shock. That right there, that's the lieutenant. He's the one you're all going to want to go see.
Handler, the man in shock, or the 20 to 30-year-old?
The 20 to 30-year-old with tan slacks and a button-up with the sleeves rolled up.
Okay.
He's the one. That's the lieutenant.
Okay.
Are those crows on your end or my end?
They're on my end.
Holy shit.
All I have is the window open. You can hear how loud the damn things are.
Well, that was like the thunder last night.
Odessa will whisper to each. Dude seems a little young to be a lieutenant, but it is what it is. I'll go and make contact with him. See if you can just mingle with the rest of the police crowd just to find out what they're saying without the official line being given to us.
Okay. Do you wish me to just go talk to the police officers holding people back, see if I can find out anything?
Not so much those, but some of the uniforms that are there that are securing the scene, and some of the forensic people. See what you can get from them before we get it filtered through. Oh, well, we'll give you the official report and all the good stuff's out of it. Just see what you can glean from them. Yeah.
Potentially, maybe there'll be something that maybe got covered up, but I will take a look.
Or they don't know what they're looking at more specifically. We know what we're looking for. They don't. And they may think, oh, this is no big deal. It's just some white dust. Not a big deal. Oh, wait, we know what that is.
Well, what I will do is, I assume we have to go under a police line or something. I will go under that with you. And then from there, I will walk over to the other uniform people and talk while you talk to Davenport.
All right.
As the two of you approach the ribbon, you can't help but notice a 20-foot radius of deep crimson, with its point of origin being a figure covered by a yellow tarp. You see the man in tan slacks with the button-up shirt watch the two of you cross the yellow line, talk with a few officers, and then continue moving. And he puts his hand on the gentleman's shoulder, nods at him, and then turns and starts walking in your direction. As he approaches the two of you, he extends his hand. He says, "Well, I didn't realize a few dead bodies warranted so many of you federal boys out this way."
Lieutenant Davenport, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Agent Adesso. This is Agent Okami. We are, I apologize for intruding upon your investigation, but there's a couple things here at play that you are unaware of, and when we have some time, I'll be able to read you in on some of the more sensitive portions of it. But I understand that you've yet had another incident.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you reading me in on my case. Thank you. I'm just trying to understand, how many of you agents does the FBI plan on sending down this way?
Well, we're the only two that I'm aware of. Has anyone else been here?
Yeah, I just saw 4 of your brethren here just a short while ago.
Did they say what office they were from?
They said they came down out of Quantico.
I'll lean over to each. Heisenberg didn't mention there'd be any other team here, but the team that they previously sent. Oh, is he referring to the... All right, out of game. Is he referring to the guys that already died?
That's what I was saying. Like, it's the other team. And then we basically just need to say something like...
That team's dead.
They were called back.
Yeah, that team's dead. Yeah. This is a whole nother team. But this may be legit FBI agents is the issue.
He's talking about the 4 people that were sent, right?
No, he's talking about 4 brand new people. Yes. That's what I was confused about. There are 4 brand new agents there.
There are 4 brand new agents.
Yeah.
So not only the hit team, but 4 agents and us?
The hit team's dead.
Hit team's gone.
No, I understand. I didn't know.
These are 4 other agents.
4 more agents. So now there's 6 of them here, and those 4 guys may be legit FBI guys. Because I don't remember Heisenberg mentioning to us that there were anybody else on the way. So this truly may have been the FBI gathering intel, which means we need to avoid these guys at all costs.
Okay, I didn't mean to sidetrack anything. We could always say we're a bit more specialized in terms of homicides and stuff like that. Okay,
all right,
go ahead.
So those guys came from Quantico.
Yeah.
We should say something along the lines of we're from LA yeah. So Quantico's got here. Yeah, we're from the Los Angeles office. We're a little more specialized than those gentlemen. Did they say do you know where they went?
Well, I answered a few of their questions, and then they said that they would get back to me. Tell you, some of you Phoebes have pretty big balls getting back to me. I'm supposed to get back to you, I thought, but look, I don't want to make this into anything more than it has to be. This is the 5th body in 4 weeks. If we need to get another 12 of you down here to help us with that, that's fine. My arms are open for the more the merrier. We just got to get to the bottom of this.
No, we understand, and I apologize. Sometimes communications don't flow as, and the information doesn't flow as it should. We're here to, well, we're not here to assist. We are, in fact, taking over the investigation because there's several issues at play that I can't discuss here in the open, but I'll be happy to elucidate you. Lieutenant, I understand this is your case, but there are issues, and we will talk about them.
Oh, well, yeah. I wish I had known that. I would have told my wife to spread her legs and be ready for you when you come home tonight into my house and feed my dog. No, Agent, you're not taking over my investigation. You could lend support, as you're supposed to, but there's no way I've done all this legwork and just going to hand it over to you. I don't care how many you bring. If you want to help, that's great, but you're not taking it over. We could work in tandem.
Right. We'll let the lawyers deal with that, but you're right. I'm happy to work in tandem with you. Have you have any suspects at this point?
No, we have no suspects at all.
Okay.
At this point, each will leave and start walking towards some of the uniformed people where the body is and stuff.
You're walking towards where the body is? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Adesso sort of talk to him, and I'm going to move and sort of go talk to some of the officers and see if I can. He's already locked horns with this guy. I'm going to let them go at it, and I'm going to go and see if I can smooth it over with the fucking rank and file.
Okay.
I'll pretend like I'm getting a call, and I will turn around. So each is watching Adesso and Fontenot lock horns here, and he'll reach into his pocket and pull out his cell phone and just sort of tap Adesso, point to the phone, and I will turn around and walk away. And once I see that they're engaged again, I will be moving towards where the uniform cops are, where the body might be, and I'm going to talk to them and see if there's anything there.
Okay. And you see Bennings is hanging out with one of the other officers. They're kind of keeping the crowds back. Not overly aggressively because they know a lot of these people. And of course, a lot of them are also tourists as well. The lieutenant looks at you, Adesso, and says, I'm assuming that you're in charge.
No, I'm not in charge. You're actually in charge. Your point about how we're assisting you is well taken. So I'm here to assist. I'll let the other agents who are less specialized take the direction of what the investigation is. I'm looking for some very specific things. I'll be happy to read you in when we have some time.
That would be great. I'm sorry if we got off on the wrong foot, Agent.
Not a problem. I understand.
I think under a different circumstance, you and I could be old fishing buddies.
Oh,
I'm still
sure.
may be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I understand. When you do a lot of work and then someone comes in and grabs your hard work from you and then doesn't give you any credit, it certainly seems like a complete waste of time. So I understand. This is highly unusual and very intrusive. So anyway, no particular suspects. Have you investigated all 4 of the previous victims?
Well, that's the thing. They're all tourists.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been having ourselves quite an epidemic here with all these headless tourists.
Did you investigate the sites? Did you get a chance to actually view all of them?
Yes, I was called out to the first one, and the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. And now I'm standing here at number 5. I got the medical examiner spinning in anticipation as to when the next one's going to sprout up here on the sidewalk.
Gotcha. You notice anything odd, other than the fact that their heads exploded? Anything common between all 5 of these incidents?
Oh, Agent, you think the head exploded?
Well, that's what we were led to believe.
Well, come on over here. Let me show you something. And he walks you over to the tarp.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls it back. And you see that there is no head. There is no upper shoulders. It's as though it's been shredded off and disappeared. And I need for you to make a sanity check as you look upon this.
Like a pair of overalls.
Yeah. 77.
Critical failure.
Oh, God.
Can I play with madness?
You take
Is there any mitigation in the fact that I know it's coming?
no, because you never get used to seeing
Right.
the unnatural in such a way. But you take 4 points of sanity damage.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, well, it's critical failure. So that goes from. Gotcha.
So now they're over where I am, right?
I would imagine that when you left, you turned around and you walked to 11 o'clock. They walked to about 2 o'clock, putting like a 15-foot spread between you and the two officers that are by you and where the body is on the floor.
Once I get past my initial shock, it's just basically the waist up, just legs downward and then nothing up top. Can I tell if it's
upper pecs down, like the upper
pecs
pec is gone,
Got it.
upper shoulders gone, arms just down at the floor right by the body.
Can I tell if they're
Overall.
cauterized or torn or what am I seeing? Am I seeing, evenly nice, like, I don't know, a fanciful blade that just materialized or a sphere of energy that just cut it? Or,
Like in Terminator.
yeah.
When you
yeah,
landed,
something
that
like
ground was gone, but it was clean.
Yeah.
It is not
something like that.
smooth. It looks as though it's gouged out, like something sharp and jagged removed the upper part of this body. In fact, the only thing you can tell from this body is that it was a woman
Because of the
And that's
facts or the body.
because of the lower portion of the breasts and the attire she's wearing, which is basically like a dress, a sun type dress.
And her elbows bend out funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does it look like some cosmic entity, like just like chomp down on it, or like elevator
like a
door
saw
closed
blade?
on it? Or?
It just looks like shredded skin that's been peeled back like the petals of a flower, leaving the spine and esophagus exposed.
Okay.
Would it be like a saw blade or teeth? Teeth like from an animal or a saw blade like something came in and just bzzz, like a buzz saw?
It's just hard to tell. I mean, unless you knew what kind of mouth would make that kind of incision.
Well, there are several things beyond.
We have seen a lot.
We haven't seen, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, does it look like a dinosaur did it? Because I have firsthand knowledge. What about a werewolf?
We know about these things.
But I will say this, which is strange, is it doesn't look like it was chomped from the top down, but it looks like it was removed from left to right.
Oh, okay.
Like left and right met together, not from front to back.
It's left or our left?
That's all that's left.
All right.
And I will see you guys next session.
Left us off to the right.
Yeah, I was thinking, what I wanted to know next is if there any residue in the clothing, if there's anything that's caught, like
And does
in
anyone check the
fibers,
pockets or
materials.
loose change?
And there's that too.
But we'll find out next episode.
Yes, we will.
Yes, Paulie.
Out of game for a minute. Why is it important for us to do this in darkness, having a blackout? Why is that important?
Because if you're going to try to take him out during the daytime, there'll probably be more witnesses involved. Okay. Not just that. I mean, you're talking like a complete blackout of the whole. Nobody's going to be able to use any landlines. Nobody's going to be.
Yeah,
able to,
it just seems a bit
all the
overkill.
electricity will probably down any type of CCTV or anything like that.
Okay, I got you.
It's to help cover you as well as create a sense of pandemonium. Where in an instance like that, I think most people would be more concerned about themselves than what's going on down the street.
Got it.
Like if your power goes out, you're going to want to fix whatever's going on in your house. You're not worried about somebody screaming down the road, in their house at night because they're probably just stubbed their toe for all you know. They're probably getting wasted for all, who knows.
Right. Okay. All right, back in game.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget about our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. So if you're into watching and you want to help support this show, then head on over and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the show out. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to look for us there and check us out. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can download the current show directly, pick and choose past shows from our archives, or view our galleries. We've got a lot of stuff posted over there, so check us out. And finally, join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next time, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.